So, lads, Robin Lundberg just posted an article on Sports Illustrated, and it makes so much sense. And I can't believe we just haven't been talking too much about this. And it just sums up just how bad the journalism is around the WNBA. It sums up the entire thing. But he wrote an article here: Fever face WNBA playoff and Caitlin Clark return questions after loss to Valkyries. So if you guys don't know, Caitlin Clark obviously she's been injured and she looks like she's at practice. She's wearing shoes, whereas Chloe Bibby was in slides. Caitlin Clark was in her shoes. No one knows what's going on. But Robin was just saying here, will Caitlin Clark be back? He said this on a stream last night. And he was saying, I want to see her continue to work, not just build endurance, to be able to handle contact 94 feet as it's going to be in game. But how are we meant to know that? We've got a week. The season ends we got a week. The season ends in 10 days. Is she going to come back or not? But since then, Caitlin Clark participated in team's most recent shoot arounds. There's still no definitive word on whether she's become ramping up in the way White mentioned, and she has somehow not been asked about it. Without clarity, it's hard to know if and when Caitlin Clark can make it back and what the team will look like in the playoffs indeed do start. Clark's fellow All-Stars have been yada yada. They've been good. The Fever have been all right, considering. But that's the craziest thing. That is the craziest thing about this all, is that you can see it. Clark have set no actual timetable. And he was saying it last night. He was like, nobody in the media will even ask Stephanie White when Caitlin Clark's going to be back, or has Caitlin Clark practiced. That is crazy. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, we don't know. I think she has, considering the fact Chloe Bibby was in slides during practice and Caitlin was in full gear. I think she has. There's no way the Fever will be making... If at this stage there's not enough time left, the Fever would not be bringing Caitlin Clark back for the playoffs if she hadn't played in 2 months. That's not happening. They're not going to do that. We know they're not going to do that. So I assume she is ramped up, because if she hasn't ramped up by now, they would just be sitting her for the season. I think we can try to put logic there, but I don't know what to do. I don't know what we can say about this, because it's all weird. I say, we can try to put logic here, but there's no logic. Look, I'm not a media member. Obviously Robert writes Sports Illustrated, worked for ESPN for years. There's people in this kind of space that are media members, that have been media members for a while, and are kind of in that form of sports. I'm not a media member. I am a guy who talks into a microphone and gives my opinions. I'm not out here with sources. I'm not out here with anything. If I say anything, I'm literally just speculating. I'm just giving an opinion or speculating. But I've been around sports, and I've been watching sports long enough, and we've all been around sports long enough to know that the way that everything's going with this Caitlin Clark injury is not normal. It's not normal from the media. It's not normal from a team. This entire weird scenario is not normal. I'm not out here saying that that they're mishandling Caitlin's injury, because we don't know that. We don't know that. I think you can make a very big argument that the Indiana Fever have they've not done a good job of obviously communicating with anyone, that they probably did a bad job for off season. But at the end of the day, we don't know, and because we don't know even the severity. We don't even know what this injury is. That's the craziest part. We don't know what this injury is. We don't know if it's a strain. We don't know if it's a pinched nerve. We don't know if we don't know anything. We don't know what this injury is. People are like, it's a grade X groin strain. Based on what? Based on speculation. We have no idea. It could be anything. It could literally be anything. We don't know if it's a non-injury, but because of the overcompensation in her maybe there's something wrong with something else that's causing pain in her groin. Maybe there's a compensation issue. Maybe she's an issue with a different muscle that's causing pain in her groin. We don't know. We actually don't know. They have never told us what was wrong with her injury. All we know is that she was day to day, that she was a game time decision the day she got a scan right after it happened and was a game time decision. That was 6 weeks ago. Since then, it was Caitlin Clark has there's no extra damage being done, even though the first time we were essentially hinted that there was no damage done to her groin. Then it was she's full court running. Then it was she's actually 2 weeks later, she's actually not full court running. Or she's full court sprinting, and 2 weeks later she's full court running, but it's not a full sprint. And then 2 weeks later, it was she actually hurt her ankle 2 weeks ago, but we never told you guys. Like, this is weird. This is weird. And like, I mean this when I say this, there is no way that there's no way the team is happy with the way this is being dealt with. There's no way Stephanie White is happy to be having to answer all these questions, but nobody will ask her the fucking questions. And that's probably the reason, is that she's pissed off by having to answer these questions, and so no one will ask her the questions. And then because no one will ask her the questions, we're not hearing anything, because Caitlin Clark hasn't stepped into the media at all, which is right, which is fine. Which is absolutely fine. She hasn't stepped foot in the media. No one will ask anything. Sophie Cunningham's update where she goes, Caitlin, I have no idea when Caitlin's back. Caitlin doesn't even know when she's back. So Caitlin's clearly fucking... Like Lexi Hull, the way she spoke about it, she's like, Caitlin could, because it's day to day, Caitlin could be like, it's like the way Caitlin's dealing with it is really good. So I'm like, yeah, it's a but it's just not an all-around good situation for the Fever to be in. It's not a good situation, and it's not a good situation for the team. It's not a good situation for Caitlin. It's not a good situation all around for the W. It's just, I just don't know, and no one will ask the question, so we don't know. And when we don't know, we start to speculate, which is why when we get crazy theories, when we get all this stuff, and like then people start blaming fans for these crazy theories, but the media won't say anything, and the longer we hear nothing, the more speculation there's going to be. Like, it just is what it is. It just is what it is at this stage. I have to just say it's now at a stage where I just don't even know how to describe what's going on. But anyway, yeah, that's the video. Shout out Robin. See you guys.